Morning, all you happy people. It is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are getting ready to put the first month of the year in the can. A lot of stuff going on. Trump's inauguration, subsequent executive orders, meltdowns, constant every move he makes reported by the mainstream media. Literally, it's a good thing that Trump and the Republicans and specifically the conservatives are really pushing for transparency in our politics, because holy crap, this is going to be the most politically televised 4 years that I believe we've had in a very, very, very long time. Yes, Trump's first 4 years were very televised, but in all honesty, as much as he was able to get done and everything else like that, he didn't have the dream team. The Congress was not prepared for a Trump victory. It is common knowledge that most of Congress literally was prepared for Hillary's presidency. So, whenever she comes on TV and says, that, she should have won, she should have won. It was never supposed to be Donald Trump the first time. No. In fact, nobody, our side, their side, nobody believed that Trump was going to win. The only one who actually knew Trump was going to win was, the people, because we spoke. But today's topic is the enemy within. And we are going to go from global to just our own person in this conversation. After World War II, a Japanese admiral was asked, why did they never do a land attack or land assault on the continental U.S.? His response to that was, behind every blade of grass was a gun. And I know I've talked about this before in a lot of my videos, that, not only did America have a military, it had standing militias. The populace was armed. And despite what, a lot of people want to say, militias aren't just organized, groups of hillbillies and stuff like that. Every armed citizen is a Minuteman for not only, the country's good, but for their own safety and protection. I got to tell you guys, there is not enough popo to really do the job. They are first responders, and this title is very accurate to them. They respond to crimes more than they actual. Now, their presence in a location can be a deterrent to crime, but can they be everywhere at once? No, they can't be. So, you got that to worry about. Now, why do I mention the Japanese admiral and his quote from World War II? America seems to be, on a global scale, the odd man out. Great Britain, you're not even allowed to have, grandma's or great grandma's, silver cutlery set because there's knives in it. You can't even, they're so anti-weapon that you can't even, you have to register great grandma's silver cutlery set for as a weapon. But and they just a few years ago, they disarmed all of Australia. And there's a lot of countries in Europe that are disarmed. I have no idea what the policy is in Russia as far as guns go. Can Russians carry guns? Can they, own guns and stuff like that? But America, despite global sentiments and even sentiments amongst its own ranks, continues to be a well-armed country in terms of its citizenry. And there is a lot. This puts us, it makes us a very different person, critter, because our legal right to own weapons is instilled, cut in stone in our founding documents. So, and given the polarized, environment that is our, states and federal government, there is a impossible set that we're going to get together and have a constitutional convention and change the Constitution. So, and really and truly, the likelihood of, even if they did have a constitutional convention, the likelihood of them changing number 2 on our Bill of Rights is, I will say it's never 0, but it is a very unlikely thing. But as such, you don't attack a tank head on unless you are using, armor-piercing shells and stuff like that. Unless your firepower is greater than the tank's firepower and armor, you're not going to attack it head on. But if you can put a doubt, a thought, an idea into what's controlling the tank, like the tank driver or the gunners and stuff like that, you rot the tank out from the inside out. Which is another reason to not have, self-guided tanks and things like that, because their programming can be corrupted. But corruption is not just in a global or nationwide or anything. We are all corrupted. All of us fall short of the, grace of God. And it is only through the grace of God that we are saved. And things like that. Corruption is the nature of man. We strive to avoid the corruption. We strive to compartmentalize the corruption and allow us to function in society. Drug addicts, they'll cover their needle marks. Or to put the needles in where they're not readily noticed, between toes, between fingers, and such, and so forth and so forth. But how can you have a government without corruption when the people themselves that are in that government are corrupt? Of course, we gotta, unfortunately, you deal with the corruption that's in your favor. I mean, everybody grows up a different way. Everybody's journey in this life is a different life. And as such, values are completely different depending on what person you're talking to. And that's how, you end up with parties and stuff like that. And what happens is two people who have similar opinions about stuff become friends. They become friends with other friends, and then they become, a group, and then they, grow from there. They represent whatever their belief structure is. And it's not just, making associations or anything else like that. That's, everything. Birds of a feather flock together, when you're looking for a significant other, you look for someone who matches your core values, and that's the person you marry. At least matches as closely as you can get. But the easiest way to destroy an enemy is from within. Literally, It's been going on since, medieval times. They would literally hurl dead carcasses into, castles to generate disease and stuff like that. In fortresses, how do you break through a fortification that is, nigh impenetrable? You do it from the inside. You get somebody that works for you on the inside. Most armies that would attack a castle would send, scouts in long before the attack to become friendly with the natives. And when the castle doors were shut, locked, portcullises were dropped, and the drawbridge was pulled, they already had people on the inside. What is the best way to get into a fortress is whenever it's open. Guess what, guys? Our portcullises have been open for years. We have been invaded for years. The enemy is not only amongst us, but has now set up roots here and is just waiting for their orders to, to begin sabotage. The devil found its entrance into the human soul by tempting man and woman with the one thing that they didn't have in the garden. They had everything. The only thing that he could tempt man with was to be like God. And we've that one corruption, that original sin, continues to this day. Man wants to be like God. Why do you think we've got witchcraft? Why do we got sorcery? Why we can't, why do we have psychics and tarot card readers and stuff like that? Why do we have cults? Why do we have all that stuff? It's because somebody wants to touch the face of God. And even more, they want to be like God. And some people want to be gods. Corruption from the inside, guys. How do you destroy God's church? You infiltrate it. You corrupt it. You change the narrative. You make it to your thing. That's why we have progressive Christianity now. Too much of the feels, guys. Too much of the feels. Let's go, Brandon.